Hey y'all, Nick Pomeroy here with PR Equipment in Kearns, Texas. Hey, today we're in the cab of a Massey Ferguson 5711D tractor. Wanted to jump in the cab of this tractor. It's actually retailed and we're going to be delivering it this evening, but wanted to jump into the cab of this tractor and kind of go over some of the features and controls and functions. There's a lot to talk about on the outside of the tractor, but today we want to focus on kind of what makes it special inside. So this tractor is basically, they took the 5711 or the 5700 series global series tractor and they added a Dyna 4 transmission. So we were already kind of just building on that global series transmission, that global series tractor, and then adding on that Dyna 4, which is a proven transmission. If y'all are familiar with the Massey brand, you know that transmission has been around for 20 plus years in a lot of other products, and this is the first time we've offered it in the global series. So what we're trying to target with this tractor is kind of more the economy-minded tractor. So we're looking at coming at a less price point, but give you a lot of the features. So maybe you can afford to have a little nicer tractor and a few more features in your tractor. So it really comes in at a great price point. It's a 4-cylinder tractor. It's going to get you good power and, like I say, give you the control of the Dynashift transmission. This is really hard to match in the industry for the price point. This is a great tractor. So I just want to kind of talk about, initially kind of show you some of the things that are in common with the 5700 series, the global series tractors, and then we'll go into a few of the differences. So as you can see, you still have the coupler function valve for the hydraulics, which is a nice feature. That's basically combining the two hydraulic pumps to increase your hydraulic flow. It works great for the loader. We'll show you that here in a second. It also works great for maybe like the tailgate on a baler. You know, it just doubles the flow of the hydraulics almost. It really definitely a big increase, and so it's really nice. You can imagine, you know, opening that baler tailgate significantly quicker. I love to show it when I show customers. I love to show what the effect it has on the loader. It basically makes it a 2-speed loader, so that's really kind of a nice function there. Still going to have the 3-speed PTO, electronic shifting in the cab. You know, electronic engagement of the PTO, the 4-wheel drive, the differential locks, basically the same controls for the 3-point lift. You've got your settings up here on the pillar for your draft control, for your lowering speed, and for your upper limit. And still got kind of this quick engagement switch for the 3-point. Of course, you set it here. So that's pretty common with what you had on the 5700, the global series. It's a great setup. You've got three remotes here. That's what we generally spec them out with, so pretty much standard there. The engine A speed, which if you're not familiar, this is a really nice feature. It's super simple, but basically allows you to very quickly to program a preset engine speed. So maybe you're programming it for your PTO speed, which would be your typical application. You can go ahead and preset that. Flick of the button, you're up to that engine speed. Kick it off, you're down. So a lot of really nice features. This particular tractor is going to be outfitted with the FL series loader. This is going to have great capacity. This happens to be the self-leveling version. It's also going to have the soft ride on it, which is a really nice feature that basically allows I'm going to kick that on. You can kind of see it, how it's bucking the tractor there. And then when I turn on the soft ride, you see that? You can kind of probably see how much less that the tractor is moving. So it's a really a nice feature to have that soft ride on these loaders. I'm a big fan. Of course, if you're hauling a bale across the field, it makes it significantly smoother. So there's a lot to really like about that. So kind of coupling that with that 2-speed function makes it a really nice tractor. But really jumping into the Dynashift version of side of this transmission, or the tractor in general. In the Dynashift, we've got a lot of function and features, and so we're basically bringing back that same shuttle lever that you're used to on most, or at least a lot of the Massey products, say above 70 horsepower. It is electronic over hydraulic shuttle, so it's extremely easy to shuttle forward or back. One thing I really like about it is if you pull up on that shuttle lever, it doesn't matter what position it is, it basically brings the tractor to neutral. So you just let it back down, it goes right back to where you were at speed-wise. You can quickly shuttle to reverse. And there's some settings in the dash. So this is a little bit different from the global series, because instead of that potentiometer that was right by the shuttle lever on the 5700 series, these settings are going to be in the dash. But it's still basically the same principle of, hey, we can change how aggressive that shuttle happens. But I really like the fact that, you know, you can go forward and you can just pull up on it, and that's going to bring that tractor to neutral. So imagine kicking out a bale, you know, you're looking behind you, you're running the hydraulics, you can just let that back down. Once you've got it all set, we're back to baling. So that's a really nice feature. But that's kind of where the similarities stop. And so from there, we want to talk about what we can do with this transmission. And there's a lot of things that are really neat about it. So being a Dynashift transmission means it's got 16 gears. It's 4 ranges and 4 gears, I should say. So you've got A, B, C, and D, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But you can shift through all of them electronically. And there's multiple ways to shift this tractor, actually. So just kind of starting, since we're talking about the shuttle lever, you'll notice that I can actually bump that shuttle lever. Now you'll hear it beep because it's actually, that's the end of the range. And then to shift ranges, we'll show you that in a second on the T-handle. But if you notice, I can shift the tractor just by bumping the shuttle lever up and down, and it's in a forward or in a reverse, because it works the same in reverse. So that's really, really nice. The other thing that's really, really nice about this, so that's cool that you can shift it there. Most of your shifting is probably going to take place with the T-handle. So you're just going to shift that forward or back. You hear that beep, and that's because we've reached the end of the range. So if you want to shift a range, there's actually a little button here on the end of the T-handle, and we're gonna push that button while we do a bump of the T-handle, and that's going to shift an entire range. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we can shift through, we can skip gears basically. I can skip an entire range if that's what I want to do. So if I'm in 2A, I can go to 3A if I'm not speed matching the transmission. I'll get to that in a second. But I really like this for a lot of reasons. One of my favorite, I mean, we transport these tractors a lot of, you know, maybe going to different demos and things, or we maybe rode a tractor or whatnot. And you can shift an entire range. So if you start out heading down the, you know, at a stop sign, and you don't have to bump like with standard power shift. We can skip a whole range and really get on up out of those lower gears. And I think that's a really nice feature, at least it is for me. And then there's a couple other features. So the next thing, you do have these the auto eco and auto power modes. And the cool thing about that is, so let's say I just want to use the throttle pedal, or the foot throttle. So as I begin to increase the speed of the engine, it will begin to shift the tractor for me. There's 2 modes to that. So one is going to be kind of the power mode, and one is going to be kind of the economy mode for saving fuel. But that makes that really, really nice. So I'm going to bump it down to range 1. I think it'll be a little easier to see. So as I push down on the throttle pedal, it shifts for me. Let up off the throttle pedal, it's going to shift down for me. So I'm back to 1A now. So push that down, it's going to shift for me. Now in power, it's going to shift a lot later. In eco, it's going to shift a little sooner. There's C, there's D. So, really nice feature. Another feature that to talk about, like say, so you basically drive it like a car, right, with your throttle pedaling, and it's going to shift for you within your range. So whatever range you're in, if you're in 1, 2, 3, whatever that is, it's going to shift through those gears. Probably one of the cooler things I think about this particular tractor, though, is brake to neutral. So I don't know all the other models that have the brake to neutral available, but brake to neutral is really nice. So let's say we're cruising along, we're in 2A, we got a little engine speed going. But if you need to basically kick a bale out, or if you need to stop for any reason, all you have to do is push the brake pedal. Not only does that brake the tractor, that brings it to neutral. So that's a really nice feature. So now there's a couple different ways we can bring it to neutral. We can shuttle back to neutral. We can just pick up on the shuttle lever, or now with brake to neutral turned on, which is the orange switch, we can just tap on the brakes, and that brings it to neutral. So there's just a lot of things you can do with this transmission, and what I like about it is they're all really easy to learn. This isn't a complicated tractor to learn how to shift this and shift that. It's still a very simple tractor, but you get a lot of functionality. So we talked about brake to neutral, we talked about the coupler function, or I say coupler function, basically the combining valve for the hydraulics. We talked about the auto eco and auto power modes here. We talked about, oh, and one other thing, and I like to point this out. I know it doesn't always mean everything to anybody, but with the, I like it because when you're driving this thing, I like to think of it as kind of like a intuitive shifting. So if I'm in forwards and I want to go faster forward, I bump the shuttle lever forward. And want to go slower, you bump it backwards. It's pretty intuitive. If I go to reverse, it's the opposite, which to me makes a lot of sense. So when I want more reverse speed, I pull back on it. When I want to go slower in reverse, I push against the speed direction, the direction of travel, and that allows it to shuttle back down. So I really like that. It's very intuitive for me. That's what my mind thinks like. So if I want to go faster forwards, I push forward. If I want to go slower forwards, I push in the reverse on the T lever. And so it's direct opposite in reverse, and it's kind of easy to learn that way, and it makes more sense to me at least. So guys, I hope that kind of goes over some of the controls and some of the features that you can do with this transmission and this tractor in general. This tractor is really positioned quite well to really take on some of those more premium tractors, but at a great price point. So we've already kind of building on this known 5700 platform with the Dyna 4, which is a proven transmission. So it's like I say, it's going to be a really nice tractor for a lot of folks that can still get some of those premium tractor features in more of an economy-minded budget. So I think it's definitely worth checking out. Like I say, this tractor is fixing to head to the field, go to a customer. This is I don't know, we sold a few of these so far this year when they just came out. But this is definitely a tractor worth considering. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us at PR Equipment. You can find us on Facebook at PR Equipment, YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel with a ton of videos on different tractors and whatnot. You can give us a call or just look us up on the website at PREquipmentsales.com.